The FundMatch webinar on international ad campaigns, which includes print, TV, moving, and billboards. It's great to see all of you today. I see some familiar faces. I'm Diana Buswell, FundMatch Liaison at WSADA. The presentation today will be recorded and uploaded to our website for your reference. And it's about 20 to 25 minutes long. Please put your questions in the chat function and I'll answer them at the end of the presentation. Seems like we've got everyone here. And with that, let's get started. The agenda today includes getting to know WSADA, what is FundMatch, the ad campaigns, the claims process, wrap up, and resources. For those of you not familiar with WSADA, we are a nonprofit trade association. We have over 40 years of exporting focus, and we have a global network of resources. We partner and advocate with the USDA and the Foreign Agricultural Service. Our mission at WSADA is to increase international growth of Western agribusinesses by providing financial support, export readiness, and business development services. Our vision for 2033 is that Western agribusinesses thrive in world markets. Do you qualify for FundMatch? Well, you must be headquartered in the Western U.S. region. You must be a small to medium agribusiness. Your product's at least 50% U.S. grown and operating your business for 1 year. Let's go through the process of the FundMatch program. We can discuss each step. There are a couple reminders to discuss. You may be contracted prior, or you must be contracted prior to your event or campaign. Now, this also applies to changes you make during the year where you may add a country market. The country market must be in place and it must be done prior to the event or campaign. Applications are completed online. And to begin the online application, sign on to your WSADA dashboard and select FundMatch applications and begin the process. Your engagement executive will reach out to you to answer any of your questions or to schedule a consultation. If you do not know who your engagement executive is, just email fundmatch@wasada.org to be connected. Then you continue to work through the application. There are 5 areas of information: the company profile, the contact profiles, you'll list your products and your marketing plans, and then there's a final review. The fee for the application is a non-refundable $300 fee. And please note, this will increase after January 1 to $350. So you may want to begin your application for your 2025 activities soon. The application is then routed to the FundMatch manager. His name is Justin Riggs, and he will review the application for approval. Just be sure to work through any back and forth questions or emails needed in the process. Once the application is approved, you will receive a contract to sign electronically and the invoice for your 6% fee on funding. After signing and paying the invoice, you are eligible to conduct your activities. And then once the activities are completed, you compile your documentation like on your laptop or desktop to submit for reimbursement. Sign on to your WSADA dashboard, select FundMatch program tile, and then select the claims tile to begin the process. Once the claim is submitted, our staff will review it, and if additional information is needed, we will request that documentation. Once the claim is processed and finalized and approved, it is forwarded for funding and reimbursement. Next topic, the origin statement. You'll hear a lot about this with all of your FundMatch activities. It is the kind of the cornerstone of the FundMatch program. Note that the top 4 origin statements in green are the acceptable origin statements to use in your activities. Product of the USA, product of America, grown in the USA or grown in America, made in the USA or made in America. If you choose to use your state, it must be spelled out completely. Product of California, grown in Oregon, made in Montana. I always suggest companies that if you have any questions with regard to an acceptable origin statement, just reach out and contact your engagement executive for guidance. When conducting FundMatch activities for reimbursement, these are the items that are needed consistently for each one. The first item is your invoices, and your invoices must include the date, the name, address, and contact info of the vendor, plus all the itemized charges, the name of the payer and the company contact information, and also provide a translation if needed for these invoices from a foreign language. Proof of payment. Proof of payment is required on all expenses. It consists of a credit card or bank statement in a PDF format. Please include the first page of the statement and the page of transaction. If you pay by wire, include the wire transfer form with the corresponding bank statement. And if you pay by check, include the check image with the corresponding bank statement. If you pay by cash, include a signed cash receipt for services. The final area is proof of activity, and that really varies upon the activity. Sometimes it requires photos, sometimes it requires reporting. So just depends on your activity. Make sure to access the FundMatch guide for individual questions. In the guide, it is noted that for each type of campaign or show activity, it will list what the proof of activity is. And now we're going to dive in. Time to discuss and review the eligible expenses and ineligible expenses for your advertising campaigns. Eligible expenses include your ad design, your production costs in conjunction with the ad placement, your formatting, professional design, photography expenses, if you have script writing, voice or talent fee, clip production, music, of course, printing, temporary labor for talent and design, billboard signage and lightbox rental expenses, and installation costs. Movable and space rentals, for instance, on taxis, buses, and trucks, that's eligible. And broadcast expense for airtime and purchase spots on TV and radio. Now let's talk about the ineligible expenses. Ineligible expenses are advertisement campaigns tied to a purchase product, advertising associated with a coupon or price reduction for an approved product, ad in a publication that does not circulate in your approved country market, ad or media or messages that do not target your approved country market, copyright and licensing fees, scheduled broadcasts that have not aired yet, advertisements that are defamatory to another U.S. brand, sponsorships, media or press release items and the associated labor. And finally, activities or campaigns that do not include your product and brand promotion or a valid U.S. origin statement. To dive a little deeper, let's look at the claim documentation needed for each type of campaign. For newspapers, magazines, or grocery circulars, you would need the invoice and the date of the publication and the issue, the proof of payment. Your proof of activity for any printed advertisement cannot be in the form of like a draft or a proof or a PDF. Images of the item produced or original copies must be submitted if requested, and they must always include your brand name and U.S. origin statement. A photo of the original publication cover sheet showing the date and the name of the publication, and plus the photo of the ad. Since we are now on an online claim submission, you can submit those photos, but we may request a hard copy at some point if needed. Another piece of information needed is the current circulation report for the publication showing distribution in the approved country market that you've selected. This is obtained from the vendor or periodical. And English translation is needed for the above items if in a foreign language. Now, billboards that are non-digital, the big billboards, that would include the invoice, the proof of payment, the geographical location of each billboard, invoice and contract with the rental agency showing the length of your campaign, and a photo of the billboard at each location per month of the campaign. For example, if you had a 12-month run, you would need to submit a photo for each of the 12 months. And of course, it must always have your brand name and valid U.S. origin statement. Now for moving ads, like on taxis or buses or subways, planes, you'll need an invoice and the detailed contract showing the length of campaign, a photo of each of the locations of the moving ad per month of runtime, plus display your brand name and origin statement and your proof of payment. Continuing with TV and radio ads, you would need to provide the invoice, the proof of payment, the name of the TV or radio station, the country and cities where the ad was broadcast, date and run times, and a number of actual broadcasts by certificate.
I'm not hearing anything anymore.
Neither am I. He went on mute.
Well, let me look. Can you hear me now?
Now I can. It just stopped for a minute.
Yes, I can hear now.
Well, thank you very much. Thank you for calling that out. And so let's redo digital billboards just to make sure. We'll move to digital billboards and monitors, and that includes ones in bus stations, subways, airports, hospitals. You must include your invoice, proof of payment, country and cities where the ad was advertised, the photo of each digital ad per location per month. And as always, you must display your brand name and U.S. origin statement. Date and run times and the number of actual commercial broadcasts, and the transcript of the commercial. in English translation. It also includes production costs must be submitted in conjunction with the purchase of the radio or TV spot. Now, once you've completed your campaign, it'll be time to compile your documentation into your desktop or laptop and sign on to your WSATA dashboard and begin the online submission process. And this is kind of how that looks. You sign on to your dashboard, you click on to the FundMatch program, and then the claims tile, and then that little orange button where it says Start Claim, you'll click on that. And then you'll begin to fill out the details of your claim, which includes the country, your promoted products, your expenditures, and travel expenses if applicable. The next button will turn green, and then you go to the next field, which are your individual expenses. And you'll just upload your photos or upload your proof of payment, upload your invoices, all of that as requested on this. It's pretty intuitive and easy to complete. You click the next button on to submit and submit it into our office. And as a reminder, it's taking about, right now, it's taking about 4 to 6 weeks for processing and reimbursement of a claim. And to also remind you that WSATA now accepts ACH payments. And so if you want to have a little bit quicker payment, you might want to go to our website and get the enrollment information and get that in place prior to your claim submission. And now we're beginning our wrap up, our tips for success. Here are some tips for success, and there are many ways to access resources and support at WSATA and at the FundMatch program. To schedule a consult and meet your engagement executive, email fundmatch@wasata.org to get you connected. I always recommend to bookmark the FundMatch guide so you have it there, for easy reference. And review our FundMatch tutorial library and example claims that we have out on our website for specific questions regarding your activities. And finally, I want to thank you so much for attending the webinar today. Now is the time for questions, and so please put them into the chat, and if you can give me a minute to adjust my screens, I'll get them answered for you. Feel free to leave the webinar if you need to, and you will receive an email in a few days with this presentation and other resources. Email fundmatch@wasata.org with any questions regarding the program, or visit www.wasata.org. My pleasure to speak with all of you today. And if you hold on just a moment, we'll get our screens taken care of here. Okay.
I do have a quick question. So with each campaign and each region that you've selected, is there a different allotted budget that's allocated for certain items and reimbursement?
I'm not quite sure of your question. What was your question? Can you specify that a little bit better for me, Gary?
Yeah, sure. So for example, we went to Seoul, the food show